Are you ready to learn? Because my super experienced guests are ready to share some really valuable information. Make sure and listen all the way to the end to get help and support. So let's start with the best audio experience.
Hello guys, welcome to our show. Today we discuss about video content, how you can create your video content, and it's more interesting that you can do it programmatically. You don't need to show your face. And if you in my promo, by the way, we created this content programmatically as well, and I'm so excited to discuss this topic with Jonny Burger. How are you?
Hey, Anatoly. Great to be on the podcast. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's a big pleasure. Especially, I like this topic. I love filming content. I remember when I decided to launch my YouTube channel, that was Ukrainian channel, and I felt for me it's much better to break my leg than film the first video because I didn't have confidence. And I scared camera, but in some time with consistency, I could overcome all my fears. And right now, I can help others. And I found that many people are not ready to show their faces, and they want to create programmatic videos because if the people love it, you can create excited videos as well. So to help your audience, before we start, just tell more about yourself, experience, background, and why you decided to share with us about filming videos programmatically.
All right. So my background is I've been a software engineer for 10 years, but have been actually most of the time making my own apps and just doing some agency work, nothing special. I am from Zurich, Switzerland, and about 2 years ago, I found this opportunity, or it kind of fell into my lap. I wanted to make a promotion video for one of my apps, and I was struggling with the traditional video editing programs, Adobe Suite, and other, especially motion graphics programs out there. And since I was a much better programmer than a animator, I figured maybe it would be easier for me to create these videos in code. And that's how I kind of came up with the idea for Remotion.
Yeah, interesting. Can you tell who needs such format? I mean, like to create videos programmatically, what kind of businesses can get benefits of that, and more insights about companies, people, or anybody else who needs this format.
So any kind of content that is repetitive, where you could kind of create a template for it and just switch out a parameter. This is where Remotion might be interesting for them. An example is, for example, if you have a podcast like this one and you would like to extract snippets, maybe it is an audio podcast and you want to have a transcription and create audiograms from it. You could create a template in code with Remotion, style it to your branding, and export a lot of clips with it. And as an extension of that, since it is a tool for developers, um, it is also possible to create apps that do this for an end user. So if you cannot program, a tool made with Remotion might still be useful for you, because we allow developers to use our APIs to, for example, make this template easy to use for the user. So specifically, there's a podcast app out there that has an archive of all the podcasts, and the user can just select any podcast and export a snippet as a video to then post it to their social media.
Yeah, love it. Interesting. Okay, let's talk about the format. What can I create with your tool or other tools, similar tools? I mean, like for example, I found that if you create non-interesting, boring video, people can bounce fast. But how to catch their attention? How to create something unique? Because uh, if we use templates, people can bounce. They are not interested to watch the same videos. Tell more about uniqueness and how to stand out from the rest.
Yeah, I think this is a big problem that if you just keep on making the same content over and over again, it's not going to be very interesting. But if you think about that, video in general is just a much more engaging type of content nowadays than text or images. It still makes sense to, whenever possible, post a video instead of just a text. So, for example, if you were about to post a podcast snippet, it would still be nice to have a video where there's an audio wave visualization and a transcript that animates over, for example, just an audio file, even if this turns out to be a template.
Yeah,
So maybe I can add
yeah,
to
go
that.
ahead.
It's just because you have a template that makes it easier to produce it, but it does not replace making great content, of course.
I often use AI tools, for example, to generate text, but I found you need to spend some time with editing to analyze manually because it's often when AI can create some uh, nonsense, or obsolete content. What about using AI for video creation? What kind of manual job I need to provide extra when I create video content with AI? Because even pictures right now we can create pictures with AI. So tell more about using AI with video production.
Yeah, I think AI is going to blow up even more, and still has its quirks. But I mean, the progress that we are seeing means that inevitably uh, AI is going to play a role in video production in the future. And while Remotion is not a tool that integrates AI specifically, it is a tool that requires very explicit user input, and the user has to do everything ourselves. So in Remotion, for example, if we were about to create a video that would display the screen that we are on right now, you would have to very explicitly say, hey, Anatoly is on the left, his video panel size is 400 pixel, and Jonny is on the right, and there's a logo at the top right. So AI is not going to help you with that, but AI is kind of a tool that you can plug in. So AI is often exposed via an API. So we have like text to speech API, transcription API. Maybe you could embed an AI generated image into a video. And so we, while we do not have a way to use AI specifically, it is all about integrating these APIs.
Mhm.
So while I do not touch it directly, I do think that AI is going to play a huge role.
And can you tell how long content creators need to spend by editing AI video content. For example, I usually edit almost all text, with AI content, but I can save my time, when I generate text. Even AI can write some nonsense, that's okay, because I can get ideas, to get structure, to get many other insights, and I can rewrite even from scratch. But it saves time to research. It saves time to find ideas. What about video content? Is it possible, for example, to click golden button and get the whole video content without any editing, or we need to spend some time, to to create the final product?
Yeah, I think AI is coming in very handy, and the better it is able to understand your video content. So if you just drag in a bunch of raw resources and it is able to detect the pauses, is able to make the right cuts, find the right structure, maybe even to subtitle it, shorten shorten unnecessary stuff, all that kind of stuff. Maybe also add in fitting images. Then this is going to help the creator a lot to make their video content faster, because traditionally you would use a video editing program, play it, and make all the cuts manually. And there are lots of programs out there that go in this direction. Descript comes to mind, which is a tool that allows you to drag in a video or audio, and it automatically transcribes it, and then you can edit the video like a Word document. So if you delete a sentence, it's also going to get deleted from the video. So this is super powerful. And I personally also use Veed.io, so written with a V, that helps me a lot in finding pauses to cut out and then subtitle what I am saying.
Mhm. Let me share one story. Once, I cooperate with one expert who film content about crypto, forex, and he filmed a few videos. In most cases, he recorded his own voice. Sorry for my dog. Vegas. And I always correct him. You need to be clear. Don't use blah 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 and something like this. And once I got a new video file with awesome female voice. I asked him, who did it? He replied to me, I did it. I told you, you're a man, you can't create this voice. And he replied to me, AI did it. So can you tell more about, for example, and I see many business owners, when they create video content, they need to translate to many different languages, or for example, to improve the voice of speaking if someone can't create awesome content. For example, like me, English is my third language, and my pronunciation is far away from the best. So can you tell how to create awesome voice by using AI tools in video content?
Yeah, so for that you would need some kind of text-to-speech service, which all major cloud providers are offering, and it has come a long way. So I would say if if you were trying to do that in 5 years ago, it was very you could immediately notice that it was fake. But the AI models have become so good. This is now very possible. There's one company which I think is also using Remotion under the hood. It's called Colossian. They are making quite some splashes in the ecosystem, I think, and they essentially allow you to enter any text, and it will not only create a good text to speech, it also comes with like a full avatar, so an a rendition of a person which moves its mouth in a really realistic way. And while I think kind of this type of technology is also in its infant shoes, I can still tell that this is not a real person. It is advancing very quickly, for and it is. I will probably watch this type of content over a blog post if it's really well made.
Yeah, got it. Okay. I open your website right now and scroll down and found tariff plans. Can you tell more about your unique selling proposition? For example, today we have a lot of companies that can help with creating video content, but I found if you sell to anyone, you sell to no one. Yeah, it's famous saying. Tell about your unique selling proposition, why you are better than others, your advantages, and share more about this tariff plan, because I see you have some free plan, you have for developer seat $25, cloud rendering $10. Tell more about your free plan, because I think everyone loves free, and about the rest as well.
Sure. So I originally come from the open source community where you would just make some software and put it up on GitHub and put it out for free. It's kind of the easiest way to distribute it. Especially, it is a tool for developers and it's also a B2B software. So that was my initial plan to put it up on GitHub, but then I realized before I was publishing it, hey, this project is kind of too exciting and too good to just give it away under a free license. So I still copied a free license, but put in a clause that requires companies to pay for it. That's how we ended up with this business model. But I think what also excites a lot of people about Remotion is that all the source code of it is available on GitHub, so they can uh, clone it, propose changes, and audit our source code. That's how our source available model came to be, and we charge for companies just to be sustainable, essentially. And
Mhm.
we are a B2B model. That means an end user would not use Remotion directly. So if we are thinking about a tool that allows you to transcribe, to edit the video automatically, they need to have some pretty good video processing technology in the background. And this is what we provide, because I think these types of problems are very recurring. Just turning data into an actual encoded MP4 file, and everybody's kind of building their own at the moment. So we want to kind of package that up and turn that into a product.
Yeah, got it. Uh, let's talk about video format. Can you tell what kind of content can I create programmatically? And for example, I usually create educational content. Is it good idea to create video content programmatically, or it's better for promo, marketing, any purposes about it?
I think it's hard to completely abstract content that is also creative or requires opinion or specific knowledge. So an if you're recording an educational video, it will not make sense to program that. Um, but if we are thinking about overlaid graphics, um, podcast snippets, um, we had another use case where they would use Remotion for a marathon because they wanted to give each of the 1,000 runners their personalized finisher video. Anything that is based on a template, that's where I think you should use programmatic video. For an educational video, maybe where it could make sense is to, hey, you want to always have the same intro but with a different text, and this is maybe where we could be useful.
Uh, can you tell how to create content plan? For example, of course, it depends on business goals of anything. But I see when content creators struggle to create content plan. So you can help them with that, or just you can tell that use our software, our techniques to create this video content.
So the question was, how to create for the web. Do you mean social media?
Yeah, for example, I usually speak with marketers, website owners, and they struggle to create content plan. For example, if they are going to use a video format, can you tell how to create the right content considering this format, programmatic videos? Because, for example, if I'm going to teach students how to provide SEO, how to get results with SEO, probably I don't need it, no, because most audience wanna get insights, screenshot, I don't know anything else. But what about programmatic videos? For example, I have a content plan. How do I know which videos I can use with programmatic, how I can't use from your experience? Of course, it depends.
All right. I hope I understood the question right. So if you have a data set of either your customers or like different products, that's where it could be useful to turn that into videos because these are much more engaging. So you sometimes see um, products being advertised on Instagram using a video. I don't know, the product um, fades in with an animation in addition with the price, and maybe some other information is also animated in. It could make sense to also for branding reasons always use the same layout and turn your whole catalog into a series of videos rather than to do it manually, of course. Or maybe a personalized video for each customer could be very engaging and impress them. So what we see customers do is create year in review videos for
Mm-hmm.
their customers. So if you're a software platform, similar to how Spotify does it with their Wrapped campaign, they make a nicely animated video about how many minutes the user has listened, and they are also encouraged to share that on their social media, further promoting the
Mm-hmm.
brand.
Mhm. Johnny, I have the question about common mistakes that businesses still do by creating a video programmatically, and how to find a much better way according to your experience.
Yeah, a very good question. I do not want to promote programmatic video um, for replacing creative content. So I think each video that you want to create, um, before you create it, you should ask the question: should I really? Does it really have to be created? Is it an inspired video, and I feel like nowadays a lot of content is just being created and maybe even done well, but not interesting. So it should not um, be that you try to replace creativity
Mm-hmm.
by programmatic video. That is a general sentiment that I have, and yeah, there are also lots of technical mistakes, I would say, that will make the video look bad. Um, and have respecting the right safe area and choosing the proper aspect ratio for each medium is very important. And sometimes brands get it wrong still.
Okay, got it. Can you tell more about this word creativity? How to be creative? When you create films or video content programmatically. So how to be creative as much as possible?
Yeah, it seems kind of like it is in opposition with each other to create a template for videos and being creative. But of course, even if you create videos programmatically, you start with a blank canvas, and you have to think about, hey, what should my video content be about? How do I want to lay out it? Do I want to be fast paced? Do I want to have videos? There's tons of decisions that you have to make when creating a video,
Mm-hmm.
and where so like I said, it will not replace the creativity, and how to become creative. That is the one of the hardest questions in our life, and I also struggle with it to find really good creative ideas. But it some common ways to come up with like really creative ideas might just be doing nothing. I think the busier you are, the less creative you get. Sometimes you just should just do nothing to get creative, or like get drunk with your friends. It also ends up in a lot of creative ideas.
Yeah, got it. Uh, you mentioned that your audience is B2B. But anyway, can you tell what kind of skills is better to have before taking your products? Because, for example, if I have only two hands, nothing else, I have a team, but they don't know anything about creating content. Tell what kind of skills we need to have by using your products to create nice looking videos.
Yeah, so our product is a framework created on top of React, which is a popular web programming library, and for that some basic React skills are being required.
Mm-hmm.
So that is for now, unfortunately, a requirement, and we try to extend into other languages, or in general um, create educational content so that the the React skills that you need to have from the beginning are
Mm-hmm.
not so big. But yeah, you need to be a React developer actually to use our product. Fortunately, this library is rising in popularity.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And do you have some special plan to extend this product to other people? Because, for example, I found many of my customers are not skilled with SEO marketing. So I spend time to educate them, to tell how we can do. Because from my experience, when people understand SEO, you can get much higher results. It's the same like, I don't know, for example, if you want to lose weight, if you don't know why you need to eat healthy food, train hard, to rest, it's hard to achieve results. Best tutors can't help you to learn a foreign language. So in most cases, you need to do yourself. They can show the way where you can go, how to achieve better and faster results. So tell about your plans. Are you going to extend, or your goal is to pay attention to React users who understand this framework?
I I think the opportunity that we have identified is that there's not enough of a backbone for tools that create videos. So we kind of do not see ourselves creating a tool to help for better SEO. But
Mhm,
we see ourselves as kind of like an infrastructure provider for
mhm.
anyone who would like to build that. And I think it is a good idea to we need more tools for SEO and integrate video much more in that sphere. Yeah, actually, I also know very little about SEO. I was also wondering if you have any recommendations how we can boost remotion our search engine rankings, and whether you even found remotion over SEO or if it was over social media.
You need to create a strategy. Anything starts from strategy, and in your field, you need to find topics with a lack of quality content, low competition, because any topics that are related to video production, content creation, they are overwhelmed and overpriced. So it's hard to compete with big companies, with websites that have authority, trust. But anyway, you can do it just looking for topics that have a lack of quality content. So if you feel that you can create something better, much better content, then do it. No, then pay attention to content creation. Without content, you can't go ahead. Without valuable content that better than competitors, it's really hard to achieve any results today. So the first step, strategy. The second, create much better content. And the third strategy, optimization, link building. So it can help, but without content, it's impossible, because Google is very smart today. You can't cheat the system. You can't game the system. You can play by rules by creating something better than competitors have. That's why I usually, for example, take 100 topics and leave only 1, 2. I feel for 98 topics I can create content, but I can create something much better, 10 times better, than existed. But when I find 1, 2 topics that have outdated information, uh, low competition, so why not? So why I need to compete with Wikipedia, many other websites, if you can find their gaps, flaws, and use in your strategy? And of course, it's important to unite with your unique selling proposition, customers, because you mentioned in most cases you help React users, so you need to consider your strategy. And yeah, just start from strategy, content creation. And for me, it's better to cooperate with specialists uh, who know the topic. For example, I create content for crypto websites, many other websites, but I can't write this text. 10 years ago, I had a team of copywriters who wrote about anything. Today, I have a team of editors who can edit content from great copywriters. So you can find some specialists who can write about your topic passion. I see you write a lot, so you can do it as well. Yeah, it's more important to simplify the text, because most content people bounce content fast, if it's hard to read, to understand. So it's better to find editors who can, simplify your valuable context for readers, because if it's hard to understand your content, for them it's better to leave for a few seconds, bounce, forget forever now about your content. If I write, I cooperate with editors. They edit all my content, anything that I write. Great book authors usually have 5-10 editors, because books are very important, foundational skills. Even Stephen King, many others, they have a team of editors who can simplify UX. So yeah, you can use it as well. Jonny, I have the
Yeah, that
question.
sounds like it
Yeah,
makes a lot of sense. Um, we we are also, I guess, like it was not like created from like the idea was not to like optimize for SEO. But indeed, I've like written over 200 articles. Most of it was like technical documentation of all our programming interfaces, like specifically for Remotion. But since it's very closely related to the programming library React itself, and just because people ask a lot of questions about it, whenever I get a question, I try to turn it into an article. The first motivation was just that if I get this specific question again, I would not have to type it all out again. I can just send the link. And now more and more, I realize that this can also turn into a good search um, engine story, that if just normal React developers stumble upon our content, um, maybe we can get them to use Remotion. Yeah. So
yeah.
just some thoughts behind that.
Just find an editor, because editors, I sometimes cooperate with editors who don't know the topic, because your content should be understandable for anyone. If editors can't understand, they tell you, I don't understand what's going on, I don't know what you are trying to say. And big companies usually give their content to teenagers, kids, to read content. If they don't understand, it's better to rewrite, to rephrase, and editors can provide a good job with that. They read, oh, sorry, I don't understand. If editors don't understand, that means your content is useless. Nobody will understand, because Google and social media platforms analyze how users interact. If they bounce, most of them bounce. Why they need to show your content? Because people don't understand this content, the average of person. And today, if I remember the number, like less than 13%, yeah, probably, or 12%, something like this, are advanced users. Most of them are not, so you need to simplify experience. Even advanced users, they can be tired after the job, exhausted, they can pay attention to other directions. If it's hard to consume, bounce, just bounce, forget, and go ahead. So start from editors, find good editors, give them your articles and tell, please simplify. If they simplify, that's okay. If they can't, they tell you, sorry, I don't understand what we're talking about. Just change anything.
Yeah, I
Jonny,
love this philosophy. If you simplify, essentially you make it easier to understand, and people, you will actually help more people. So like
yeah,
your success with SEO is, there's no other way to get successful than to help people. So the success is linearly proportional with how much helpfulness you provide, which is
yeah,
a very good incentive.
yeah. User experience. Think about user experience, because today SEO is on the second place. UX, human being, on the first. So think about humans, then you can optimize for search engines. But without satisfying humans, SEO doesn't work. SEO can't help bad content. SEO can't decide problems if people don't understand your content. 10 years ago, that worked. Today, not. So yeah, Google can recognize. Okay, I have the final question. Jonny, can you tell if you started today from scratch without any experience, knowledge, skills, what will you do to learn more about creating programmatic videos?
If I had to learn from scratch, especially this topic is hard, but how it's hard to learn all the concepts, and it's easy to get overwhelmed with. I I started out by building like small software that interested me. So you start out with a few lines of code, and these few lines will be hard. A lot of googling will be involved, a lot of struggle today. Probably you can ask an AI to write the code for you. So I guess that would be different to how it was when I started learning, and the previous generation probably had to pick up some books to do some learning. I was in the generation of Stack Overflow, and I learned a lot of skills with Googling and going to forums.
Yeah, nice, good advice. Jonny, it's a big pleasure to get you on my show, to learn from you. You share a lot of valuable insights. Tell our audience how they can reach out to you, learn more about you, follow you.
My main channel is on Twitter. You can find me there under at JNYBGR, and I think your audience is mostly on LinkedIn, so there you can also find me under Jonny Burger. It was very fun to talk to you about SEO and programmatic video.
Nice, guys. You can find the links to Twitter and LinkedIn on the description below. Also, you can find a website, remotion.dev, in the description. Listen us on Apple, Google, Spotify. Thanks again for your time. A big pleasure. I love all your insights, guys. You need to follow Jonny. You need to learn from him. You need to go ahead with something new, because you can save so much time by filming videos programmatically. Okay, guys, love you. See you.